Most people look at Jensen Huang and see NVIDIA. AI GPUs, data centers, black leather jacket, very expensive chips, very expensive stock. And of course, the modern human ritual of everyone suddenly pretending they understood semiconductors all along. But when I look at his BaZi, I don't first see tech. I see something much simpler. Wood. A lot of wood. And that is the part most people miss. Because NVIDIA may look like a technology company, but the founder's chart shows a very specific lesson about wealth. Sustainable wealth does not come from chasing noise. It comes from planting something early, growing it patiently, protecting it through difficult seasons, and letting it become a forest. That is wood. Is growth. Wood is consistency. Wood is patience. Wood is direction. Wood is the tree that does not become tall overnight. But if you keep feeding it, one day everybody wants shade from it. That is the Jensen Huang lesson. Not how do I get rich from AI? That is the lazy question. The better question is, what are you growing consistently enough that the world cannot ignore it later? Now let's be clean before we go further. Jensen Huang's public birth date is February 17th, 1963. But we are not using a verified birth hour. So this is not a full 4-pillar destiny reading. We are reading only what the public date allows us to see. Year, month, day. That means we can talk about structure. We can talk about element pattern. We can talk about timing. But we do not pretend to know every hidden room inside the house. That would be nonsense wearing a scholar's hat. And the internet already has enough of that. Using the public date, the visible pillars show Gui Mao year, Jiayan month, Shin Mao day. So the day master is Shin metal. Shin metal is not a sword. Shin metal is not a giant axe. Shin metal is like jewelry, a fine blade, a precision tool, something refined, something sharp, something that needs skill. Think of a small, beautiful, sharp knife in the hands of a master chef. It is not huge, it does not smash everything, but it can cut with precision. That is Shin metal. It works best when it is refined, focused, accurate, beautifully used. Now put this Shin metal inside a chart full of wood. The year branch is rabbit, the month is tiger, the day branch is rabbit again. That is a lot of wood. So imagine a small sharp blade facing a forest. That is the picture. The metal is not sitting in an empty room. It is surrounded by trees, wood everywhere, growth everywhere, opportunity everywhere, but also pressure everywhere. Because if the blade is not sharp, the forest overwhelms it. If the blade is sharp, it can shape the forest. That is the whole secret. For a Shin metal day master, wood is wealth. But don't hear the word wealth and start behaving like a slot machine addict with incense. Wealth is not just money sitting in a bank account. Wealth is what you can manage, what you can control, what you can build into value, what you can turn into results. For Jensen Huang, the wood element is very strong. So the wealth picture is not small. It is not a little plant on a windowsill. It is a forest. Big market, big growth, big demand, big ecosystem, big responsibility. And when wealth is big, the question is not simply, can I get money? The question is, can I manage the size of the opportunity? Because a small gardener can handle one plant. But if someone gives you a forest, you need a system, you need tools, you need people, you need timing, you need patience. Otherwise, the forest becomes chaos. This is why his BaZi is such a good teaching chart for sustainable AI wealth. AI wealth is not built by shouting AI louder than everybody else. It is not built by changing your LinkedIn headline every 3 weeks. It is not built by chasing the latest tool like a cat chasing a laser pointer. Sustainable AI wealth is built like wood, plant, grow, repeat. Protect, expand, improve again and again. That is what many people do not understand. They think AI wealth is fire, fast, explosive, sudden, viral. But the founder chart says something else. The visible structure says wood. The money is in consistency. The money is in ecosystem. The money is in long-term growth. The money is in building the forest before everyone realizes they need oxygen. Look at NVIDIA. It was not born yesterday because ChatGPT became popular and everyone suddenly discovered GPUs like cavemen finding fire. NVIDIA was founded in 1993. That is decades of building, decades of technical work, decades of developer ecosystem, decades of hardware, decades of software, decades of being early before the market fully understood the use. That is wood. A tree does not grow by screaming at the soil. It grows because someone keeps watering it year after year. season after season, when nothing looks exciting, when nobody claps, when the fruit has not appeared yet. That is the part people hate. Everyone wants the fruit. Very few people want the farming. Now, Tamala, and this is where Jensen Huang's chart becomes useful for business owners. If you want sustainable wealth, you must stop thinking like a hunter only. A hunter looks for the next kill, fast win, quick deal, immediate money. Nothing wrong with hunting. Sometimes business needs hunting. But sustainable wealth is farming. You plant, you protect, you wait, you improve the soil, you build a system, you build trust, you build repeatability. You build something that can keep producing. That is wood wealth. The person chasing the next AI trend is hunting. The person building an AI platform, team, process, data set, brand, community, or ecosystem is farming. Big difference. Hunter eats today. The farmer feeds the village later. Bye. Now, here is the second lesson. Strong wood does not mean easy wealth. This is where people get confused. They hear wealth element strong and think, good, money easy. No, please behave. If the wealth element is strong, it can mean big opportunity. But big opportunity also means big demand, big responsibility, big pressure, big market expectations, big competition. If your chart shows a huge forest, that does not mean money drops from trees into your pocket. It means you must know how to manage the forest. If you don't, you get lost inside it. So for Jensen Huang, strong wood is not just wealth. It is the scale of what he has to manage. NVIDIA is not selling cupcakes at a weekend market. It is sitting at the center of AI infrastructure, chips, data centers, software, supply chain, developers, governments, investors, and global demand. That is a forest. A very profitable forest. Also a very dangerous forest if badly managed. Subnebe, this is why Zin metal matters. The day master is the person, Zin metal is precision. So when precision meets a huge forest, the lesson is this. You cannot manage big growth with sloppy tools. You need sharpness, clear decision, clear standards, clear product focus, clear engineering, clear ecosystem, clear timing. This is why NVIDIA's wealth is not just AI luck. You may open a door, but structure keeps the door open. If you want to copy something from Jensen Huang's BaZi, don't copy the fame. Don't copy the jacket. Please don't start wearing black leather in Singapore weather unless you enjoy slow cooking yourself. Copy the principle. Use precision to manage growth. That is Zin metal controlling wood, a sharp tool managing a forest. Now let's bring this to 2026. 2026 is fire horse. Fire is strong. The horse is fire. So the year brings heat, speed, visibility, pressure, and attention. For Jensen Huang, this fire horse year is interesting because fire controls matter. In simple words, fire is pressure on zinc matter. Think of a jeweler working with metal. Fire can refine the metal. Very good. But too much fire can melt or damage it. So fire is not automatically bad. Fire is pressure. Fire is visibility. Fire is demand. Fire is the market looking at you and saying, can you deliver? For NVIDIA and Jensen, 2026 is not simply more attention. They already have attention. The test is delivery under heat. Can the company meet demand? Can the ecosystem handle growth? Can the supply chain keep up? Can trust remain strong? Can the message stay clear? Can the founder remain precise while the whole world is shouting about AI? That is the fire horse test. Think of a chef. If the kitchen is quiet, easy. But now imagine the restaurant becomes famous. Everyone wants a table. Orders are flying in. Customers are filming the food. Investors are watching. Competitors are copying. The kitchen is hot. The chef is under pressure. That is fire. If the kitchen system is strong, fame becomes wealth. If the kitchen system is weak, fame becomes disaster. The food is late. The staff panic. The quality drops. The reviews turn. Same attention, different structure. That is 2026 for AI wealth. Visibility is not the reward. Visibility is the test. Joe, this is why the wood lesson is so important. When fire gets strong, wood can feed fire. That means growth can become visibility. The forest feeds the flame. The market feeds the story. The ecosystem feeds the reputation. But if the fire is not managed, it can burn the wood. In business language, too much hype can damage the long-term ecosystem. Too much demand can strain delivery. Too much attention can attract regulation. Too much speed can create mistakes. Too much expectation can make every small delay look like failure. So it is about whether AI wealth can remain sustainable under pressure. That is the real question. Chalte hain? Now, what can you learn from this? First, stop chasing only hot opportunities. AI is hot, yes, but hot is not the same as sustainable. A firecracker is hot. It makes noise, then it disappears. A tree is slower, but it can keep producing fruit. Most people in AI right now are behaving like firecrackers. New tool, new trend, new prompt, new course, new claim, new shiny thing. Pop, very noisy, very little foundation. Jensen Huang's BaZi teaches the opposite. Build wood, build something that grows. Build something with roots. Chalte hain? So ask yourself, what is your wood? What are you growing? Your audience, your product, your client base, your skill, your team, your system, your brand, your trust. If you cannot answer, you are not building wealth. You are chasing sparks. And sparks look exciting until the room goes dark again. Second, consistency beats excitement. Wood does not grow because it feels motivated. Wood grows because the process continues. Water, sunlight, soil, time, again and again. If you only work when you feel inspired, you are not building wood. You are waiting for mood. And mood is a terrible business partner. Always late, very emotional, often useless. Consistency is boring. Good. Boring things often make money. Saving, following up, improving the product, serving clients, building systems, sharpening the offer, posting regularly, learning the tool, training the team, reviewing the numbers. Very boring, very profitable. Meanwhile, exciting things often create more invoices. Number 3. Third, strong wealth needs strong structure. If the opportunity is small, maybe you can manage it casually. If the opportunity is huge, casual behavior kills you. A small plant can survive in a cup. A forest needs land, water systems, protection, planning, people. If your business starts growing, your structure must grow too. Otherwise, growth becomes stress. More clients become more complaints. More leads become more missed follow-ups. More attention becomes more confusion. More money becomes more leakage. That is why sustainable wealth is not only about getting more. It is about building the structure to hold more. Very important, very often ignored because structure is less sexy than screenshots of revenue. Tapa. Fourth, precision creates value. Syn metal is precision. If you want to manage a big wood opportunity, you need sharpness. Who do you serve? What problem do you solve? What result do you create? What is your process? What is your standard? What do you say no to? What must improve? If your answer is vague, your metal is blunt. A blunt knife needs more force. A sharp knife cuts clean. This applies to business. If your offer is unclear, you need more selling. If your message is unclear, you need more explaining. If your positioning is unclear, people forget you. If your process is unclear, delivery becomes messy. Sharpen the metal. Then you can manage the wood. Matlabat, now let me give you a simple story. Imagine two farmers. Both are given good land. First farmer gets excited. He buys many seeds, plants everywhere. No plan, no rows, no irrigation, no fence, no schedule. He tells everyone, this land will make me rich. At first, it looks exciting. So much activity, so much movement, so much future. Then weeds grow, animals come in, water is uneven, plants fight for space. The farm becomes a mess. Second farmer is slower. He studies the land, chooses the crop, builds the fence, plants the water, plants in rows, checks daily, improves slowly. At first, he looks boring. Later, he has harvest. That is sustainable wealth. Same land, different structure. Same AI wave, different business behavior. One person chases hype, another builds the farm. Guess who survives? Song Tao. This is the Jensen Huang lesson. NVIDIA did not become important because it chased one trend. It built the farm, hardware, software, developers, ecosystem, partnerships, supply chain, reputation, long-term positioning. That is wood consistency managed by seen metal precision. Growth plus sharpness. Forest plus blade. Opportunity plus control. This is what people should copy. Not the fame, not the stock price, not the jacket, the structure. Song Cao. And here is the part for leaders. If you are building in AI, don't ask only, how do I make money from AI? Ask, what am I growing for the next 10 years? What ecosystem am I building? What skill will compound? What trust will compound? What process will compound? What asset will compound? Because if your AI strategy is only use the latest tool, you don't have a strategy. You have a toy box. Toys are fun. Assets create wealth. Build assets. Song Cao. For coaches, consultants, speakers, advisors, trainers, and business owners, this matters. AI can help you produce faster, but faster production is not the same as stronger wealth. If your thinking is weak, AI helps you produce weak content faster. Congratulations, you have automated mediocrity. Very modern, very tragic. The real question is, what wood are you growing with AI? A better client experience, a stronger content library, a sharper sales process, a better training system, a smarter knowledge base, a better delivery model, a stronger community. That is sustainable AI wealth, not prompt chasing, asset building. Now in 2026, Firehorse Energy makes everything faster. The AI world will move quickly. More tools, more claims, more valuations, more fear, more excitement. More people saying this changes everything every 17 minutes. Do not be distracted by every spark. Stay with the wood. What are you growing? Stay with the metal. How are you sharpening? Stay with the structure. Can this last? Because sustainable wealth is not built by reacting to every fire. It is built by knowing which fire to use, which fire to control, and which fire to ignore. So if you want to copy the BaZi principle behind Jensen Huang's sustainable AI wealth, copy this. Grow consistently, sharpen precisely, build ecosystem, manage pressure, do not chase noise. That is it. Simple. Not easy, but simple. So Jensen Huang's chart is a good reminder that wealth is not always about one big lucky break. Sometimes wealth is a forest, planted early, protected carefully, managed precisely. Then one day, the whole world needs what you have been growing. And when that day comes, people call you lucky. Very cute. They did not see the decades of watering. So here is my question for you. What are you growing right now? Product, audience, team, system, trust, skill? Put one word in the comments, not a long essay. One word. And if you want more BaZi 2026, Chinese astrology, Firehorse 2026, Chinese metaphysics, leadership timing, feng shui, and qi men dun jia, subscribe to Destiny Architect. This is not fortune telling. This is timing, structure, and better decisions.